Good morning. Lol. Good morning, and welcome to the Edge of Fate reveal. It's just about to start, and I'm very excited to see what they have in store. Let me just shut my Discord up real quick. There you go. But yeah, welcome to the Edge of Fate reveal stream. I'm very excited to see what they have in store, especially with what's gone down in the events of Heresy. So yeah, stream is about to start. Let's do it. Woo! Hype, boys. Here we go. Of course.
What follows light and shadow is silence.
Emissary. Fate.
That silence breaks.
Fate.
I am summoning you as a new age begins. I see sapient life turn to each other. They remember how to look to the stars. They remember curiosity.
Ooh.
They remember how to thrive. But they have forgotten.
Yeah, we saw this.
They forgot we were here long before the Traveler.
Oh.
They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember. I will remind them. I'm sure you will.
Oh,
Not through me.
she talks.
Find someone else.
Oh. Huh? Orin? Excuse me? She's free.
My will is my own.
She's free. Has she been the 9th member? Ooh.
All right, everyone, hello and welcome here to Bungie HQ in beautiful Bellevue, Washington. We have got an amazing stream lined up for you to tell you a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, but no need to worry. As always, I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here at Bungie to share some of the finer details of the stuff that we're going to be getting into today. So, how about we go ahead and get into it so we can show you what we got. Starting first with this gentleman on my right and to your left is someone that you've probably seen if you've tuned into our streams before or Vidocs, the one and only Mr. Robbie Stevens, assistant game director.
It's our boy. One of our boys.
Andy, it's always a pleasure to
Robbie.
Yeah, it's been a nice time, honestly, hasn't it? Yeah, well,
always.
To that end as well, for anyone that doesn't get to hang out as much as we do, can you tell everyone at home a little bit about yourself and what you do here?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the creative and game directors for the game. So that means like I'm a vision holder, and I work across the entire Destiny team with people like Allison and Dylan on the couch here to chart a new course for Destiny and a new future for the game. And just really excited to be sharing with everyone today of what we've been up to.
Yeah, can't wait. We've got a big show ahead, so thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, as we move, pardon me, right on down the line, someone who again has also had the good opportunity to join us on these streams as well, and is now firing some finger guns like a pro.
Allison.
Destiny's narrative director, the one and only Allison Lures. Allison,
Hello.
Hell
how's it
yeah.
going?
It's going so good. I'm here on a couch and I get to yell about Destiny with you. So
Not
it's a
bad
good day.
Yeah, honestly, I'll take that anytime
Yes.
I can. Well,
Same.
for anyone who also hasn't had a chance to yell on couches about
The
Destiny,
narrative
who also
director.
hasn't joined us in the past.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Allison. I'm the narrative director for Destiny 2. And so that means it's the job of me and my team to make you laugh and make you cry and make you go, whoa, I totally forgot about this thing from 8 years ago. How did
But
they
you also wrote Echoes.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Someone who gets to sit in on the writers' rooms, I can now doubly confirm that. So thank
we
you
love
for being
having you
here.
there.
So much fun. No, seriously, thank you so much. And of course, as we move right on down the line, the gentleman there at the very end of the couch, someone who is a friend to all Guardian kind, who's known far
It's our boy
and wide, a member of
Dylan.
the Destiny Global Comms team here at Bungie, Mr. Dylan Gaffner. How's it going, Dylan?
It's the Dylan.
Well, how are you, Andy?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for
Got to make sure to ask every time.
I appreciate it. I need all the help I can get.
It's the boy.
For anyone out there who may not have accosted you on the wild world of social media or is just somehow meeting you for the first time, do you mind telling us about what you do here at Bungie?
My name is Dylan Gaffner, formerly community team, where we would go out, collect your feedback, translate it to the dev team, and then bring their information back to you, kind of be that middleman. Now I'm on Global Comms, so I'm going to be in more of like a puzzle piece organization stage of what do we talk about, when do we talk about it, why do we talk about it, and then just making sure we get the information out to all players.
Yeah, well, we all appreciate it. Thank you for always being the voice of the player inside our hallowed halls. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, now that we've kind of got the intros out of the way, let's talk about our new saga. Robbie, I'd love to start with you. What's up next in Destiny, and where are we exploring?
Yeah, so our first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start of a brand new multi-year saga called the Fate Saga. And so we want to tell a story about something older, about the nature of fate itself. Are we bound by it? Can we fight it? Because before the Traveler ever arrived in our solar system, there was already space magic here, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so ultimately, this is a story that we're going to explore one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the foundations of the universe itself.
You're talking about the Nine, aren't you?
Who
Yeah.
told you?
I think it's
Subtle,
How did
I
you
know.
guess?
Yeah.
Set you off.
We did such a good job with this secret.
Buried that lead, didn't we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's, but I mean, to that end, so who and maybe more appropriately, what are the Nine?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the Nine are extraordinarily powerful beings that have been in the solar system for way, 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 way longer than the Traveler. We can think of them as being kind of connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol.
Yes.
So that's each of our 8 planets plus the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Pluto.
It's messed up.
Didn't make the cut.
All right, fair.
I don't
Pluto ain't a
There you
planet.
go.
Sorry.
But the important thing
I
to
still
know about
stand
them
by
is
that.
that this is why we're going to be so focused on the solar system for the next saga. We want to ask questions about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Nine, obviously, Eagle-Eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it be outright ominous or a straight-up game show in some cases. Tell
There's.
us a little bit maybe about what we should expect from them.
Expect to be surprised. We're, like you said, the lore of the Nine really ranges from like Star Horse infinitely neighing to the Nine doing genuinely awful, awful things in our
Yes.
lore. And so the important thing to know about them is that the Nine are individuals. This isn't a collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose definition of a person. They have different wants and desires. They can ally with different members and fight with different members too. In the words of one of our characters really early on, there are aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the Nine are qualified as.
Fair enough. All right, so beings of obviously immense power, something that the Guardians have gone toe-to-toe with in the past. We've even faced off against the very embodiment of
Division
the Guardians
sidearm.
itself. What could be tougher than that?
Yeah, so this is something that we think about a lot about, because ultimately the Nine seek to free themselves at no matter the cost to humanity. And because
Yes.
they're extra dimensional in the ways that Allison are describing, they're not bound by the same rules that we are, that we've really experienced before in the game today. And so humanity and the Guardians, to many of them, are ultimately just bugs that can be squashed on, that they don't really care or think about beyond, achieving their ultimate goals. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, for the last 10 years, Guardians have really just been making their own fate.
Yeah.
I mean, so the Nine is
Wall of
challenging that.
glass.
How are we going to deal with it?
Yeah, whether we like it or not, the Nine have a plan for us. And like you said, Guardians are really good at making their own fate and going out and deciding who they want to be. But what happens when them deciding to make our own fate is exactly what our fate is? Like, what if that was the plan all along? These are extra-dimensional beings. That means they perceive our reality in a very different way and can interact with it in a very different way.
It's like the
Right.
move ahead in chess.
Weird.
Destiny.
You were mentioning, obviously the Fate Saga is one of the subjects of today. How long can we expect the Fate Saga to last?
Yeah, so the Fate Saga is going to play out over several years, and ultimately,
Right.
we know where we're driving this car. We know where we're going with it. But the conclusion of the Edge of Fate itself is going to leave you with more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga. Because we really want to return Destiny to being a game about big questions, right?
Yeah.
And so the way we think about this is about pouring jet fuel into the speculation engine of the game. So we're going to be revealing a lot of ideas, a lot of concepts, and many of them we're not going to be answering immediately, because we're going to be telling the story over multiple expansions, and we're going to be giving you those expansion beats more times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy kicks off with the Fate Saga, and with it, humanity is now set on a collision course with this celestial pantheon of the system that has been here for a very, very long time. And so
July
the Edge of
15th.
Fate
There you
launches
go.
on July 15th. And then the second expansion of our Year of Prophecy is Renegade, which comes this winter. And then later in 2026, we've got Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. It's a lot, a lot of exciting beats. And so again, the Edge of Fate is
We
just
know the
beginning of this
4
long
expansions
journey
already.
of this
Interesting.
awesome vehicle we're all jumping into and driving together, and it's going to take us to some
The
new places.
Alchemist.
Exciting. So in
Damn.
regards to the Edge of Fate right here in front of us, you were also nice enough to bring the class something today. You've got some gameplay with you,
Oh
right?
yeah, we got some clips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should show those off.
It's a
Let's
doozy.
Let's check it
Kinda
out.
like the present. Let's check it out.
I just hope they don't do it like they did with the Veil. Oh. Whoa.
Observe, connect, conceal. Guardian, I had a vision. Conform, comply, return. They just wanted to show us disasters. Observe, connect, conceal. I'm not human anymore. Return, conform, comply. No one else should know what this feels like.
Whoa. Huh? Ricochet rocket launcher? Okay, Elix need expansion.
Enough. Terminate your system.
What is that? Crestesia 2.0.
Scornful blindfold.
Oh, Scorn, duh. Hey, New Land Beyond. Here it is. What is that lightning surge? What is that lightning surge?
Return.
Oh. Okay. All right. All right.
That gives us an awful lot to go ahead and
It's
continue to
the
dive
boy.
into. And here to help us go ahead and explore a little bit more.
Dave.
Everyone, you probably noticed we've been joined by someone new here on the couch. We are privileged to be joined by someone who's the originator of perhaps my favorite all-time Destiny emote, the one and only Dave Samuel, art director.
Dave.
Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going great.
It's the Dave.
Absolutely. For anyone who maybe for some reason somehow doesn't have that emote in their collection or hasn't seen you in the past Vidoc, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today. So with the Edge of Fate, it's obviously the first expansion in the Fate Saga. Allison, I'd love to start with you, actually. What can you tell us about the Edge of Fate?
The Edge of Fate begins with an invitation, and we are invited, along with a very specific group of people, to a location, to a moment in time, for a very specific reason.
Very specific purpose.
Very specific reason and purpose, yes. And the place that we're going to is called Kepler. And so you may be saying, now Allison, hold on, hold your horses
read my
1
mind.
second,
Yeah.
because the Kepler I know is
Whoa.
the one that's way outside of our galaxy. What do you mean we're going to Kepler? And I say, like, dear friend, didn't you know if you look inside in Destiny's universe, the Oort cloud at the edge of the solar system, you'll find a little planetoid that also happens to be named Kepler here in the world of Destiny. And that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Super exciting. And this is kind of a, Robbie, we were talking kind of before the show. This is like like a first taste of something.
Bending a little bit of
What
astronomy.
you're seeing here is us just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating new mysteries.
What's that
to it.
green
This
stuff?
whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a Metroidvania expired experience. And so at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the Edge of Fate, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
So actually to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of Fate going to be different from past expansions that we've made for
Yes.
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions and the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these expansions as a little bigger than something like a Rise of Iron from D1. And so both of these
What the
expansions
hell?
combined are going to be even more expansion content than we've done in the past. And by
Whoa.
doing 2 of these a year, we're upping the pace of making
What is
story
that?
and story events that
Oh.
really matter to players and are going to be pushing the Fate saga forward. And so we're trying to do things, which each of these expansions. And
Special
so,
and
alongside this new
heavy
destination
bar
of
down
Kepler,
below.
This exotic world that
What is
players
that,
will,
Vex?
explore with brand new abilities. We also have world tiers, and world tiers allow you to take on a higher level of challenge on the destination in order to extract some of the best loot.
Interesting.
Within the release. But what's cool about world tiers is as you play through the mainline
Coral
story,
Vex, by the way.
first couple of world tiers, you're going to unlock later world tiers. And as you're claiming these abilities, as you're exploring the world more, as you're discovering more within the release, you're putting these puzzle pieces together and you're figuring out how to solve all the mysteries on Kepler with different ways. And so you might play a puzzle in one way, a mission in one way, and when you're in these higher world tiers in the post game, you can start to solve these problems in different ways that you couldn't before in the original playthrough. And so alongside all of this, we're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so with a lot of our side quest content that is related to the critical path, but you don't have to play it. It's there for you to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're out in the field, you discover something, and you pick
Very
it up.
Metroidvania.
It's gonna help you explore the characters in the world.
Very fitting. We're playing Nine Souls and Hollow Knight.
Story. And so, yeah, again,
On
this
YouTube
is all about
and
us
Twitch.
just looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years, and some of them are really strong, but
What is that lightning surge?
and some radical changes. And so that's what you're seeing here with the first taste of the Edge of Fate. Yeah.
I love everything you just said. I was a little distracted by some of the gameplay we were showing, like exotic sniper rifle, I think I saw, kind of recognize that.
Oh, yeah.
Some enemies with a couple really cool twists, like, okay.
Yeah.
But then also there was a guardian that turned into like a lightning ball. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able to discover on Kepler that's going to make them navigate and look at the world in different ways. But the one you're talking about, Dylan, we see it as our premier ability, the crown jewel of the release, and that's called Matterspark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art and smush it together in amazing experiences. And so I think Dave should talk to us more about Matterspark.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter. So the Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium, and the arc as this catalyst that will allow you to completely change form. Transforming into Matterspark lets you squeeze into tight areas,
We're Sonic.
race around areas, jump over stuff, and it also allows you to turn into this basically electric rolling ball of death, jolting and shocking enemies that come across.
It also proc Devour, by the way.
Obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just
Phydron.
a little bit, wider. Like, how did the Matterspark Ball kind of influence the world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, the team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind. A simple hill becomes a ramp to get to a new space. A crack in the wall, it basically will reveal a whole new area to explore. It's also a new way to engage with enemies. Instead of taking a bunch of enemies head on, you can find a Matterspark pad, transform, turn into this electric ball of death, and then just start racing around the arena, dash over their heads, and flank from behind, and then really give the House of Exile on Kepler a bad day.
As well we should. It's a good day for us.
Elixni House.
So what are some of the other Kepler abilities that we'll be able to unlock while we're out there as well?
Yeah, so each of these Kepler abilities are a mix of dark matter and our Guardian's powers. So we have the Relocator Cannon, which is this new fallen dark matter tech mixed with void. This is going to allow you to bypass laser walls, use these cascading relay networks, and just basically teleport around the world. Another ability that we have is Mattermorph. This is dark matter mixed with strand, allows you to manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and morph and move geometry to create bridges, open up doorways, and then also reveal secrets and new opportunities.
So what's
Wow.
really important about what Dave is describing, and when we were thinking about building this world, it was all about like, hey, here's this new tool to navigate and see the world in a different way, and solve little puzzles and mysteries throughout the missions, the free roam, and the quest content, and beyond. But also what was really important to us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so with Matterspark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemies to destroy them, you're doing giant explosions with them. With the Relocator Cannon, you're just blowing everything up.
And they
with
count as ability kills.
On Lance style, like projectile, little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange shurikens basically to just like delete.
Oh my god, you said it wrong. Shurikens. Robbie is
it's
not
just really
living that
exciting
down.
I'm incredibly excited about watching players just like solve puzzles and fight encounters in ways that like we don't even expect yet, and see how they take on the destination. And just like I really want to emphasize, you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to unlock. There's something unlocks with Matterspark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're talking about dark matter.
Yes.
We have darkness abilities like strand and stasis already. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how is dark matter different?
Yeah, so dark matter and darkness are two completely separate things. They're completely different things. But
Makes
dark
sense.
matter does exist in our world. In
Of
the world
course.
Destiny, we know it as being tightly connected to the Nine. It's what the Nine are actually made out of.
Mm-hmm.
In our world, dark matter is invisible. You can't really see it. And it wouldn't be very fun to
We
make
have it
a
right now.
destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't actually see. So lucky for us on Kepler, there's a bioluminescent microbe that allows us to see all of this substance that's impacted this world so much.
Love how they're
It
bending
allows
the
us to
rules of
see
biology
how
and
it's impacted
astronomy.
life, how it's impacted the behavior of the
Welcome to
peoples that we're
Destiny.
going to encounter. And we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Ugh.
Dark matter smells and tastes like bleach and math. Yeah, it's true.
Cannot wait to get that chip flavor.
Yeah.
Get it with a sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
Yeah, pretty good. Actually, so on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we heard someone.
Zesty.
Can you tell us who that was?
Sure, that was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo, we're introducing him in the Edge of Fate.
Yeah.
Code name.
I want to give a special shout out to Brian Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular job. This character is fascinating. He's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what
Yeah.
if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything. And
yeah.
what if that fish was kind of made to be pulled out of the water?
Ah.
I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is. But I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have to call out, too, before we started this, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like a notice me character.
Oh, yeah. Robbie wanted a senpai.
I
yeah.
did.
Oh my god.
Someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch of
Yeah.
time with on this.
Ooh.
A friend that we can look up to.
Yeah.
Aw.
notice me.
Notice
Notice
me
me.
Lodi.
Yeah.
He's
It
friend.
writes itself.
He sounds
Or
like
rather,
friend.
Allison does. So with regards to the characters as well, so is it a whole new cast of characters in the Edge of Fate?
No, we're going to see some new faces like Lodi and other characters, but we're also going to see some familiar ones too. Ikora is here. The stakes are high enough that she's here investigating what's going on. And as it turns out, in one of our major mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was invited here, as was Lodi, same as we were. All of it's kind of tied together.
Very exciting. So
yeah, the way, oh, if I can,
please,
like the way we think about this is about all these characters, their fates are intertwined in some way. There's these puppet masters that have been pulling the strings for a very, very long time in order for everyone to get here at this moment. And so as a guardian and these characters involved, they're gonna have to decide if they're fight your fate. Like that's what we think about. For these individuals, that's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are fated to be here. And what does that mean for them, and what does that mean for their future and the future of Seoul itself?
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves
Interesting.
in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the last week or so, you already know that there's been people on Kepler for a long time. That's an old-ass computer that you were putting into. We also know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine, because turns out the Nine can do something that the Vex can't. As Dave mentioned, the House of Exile are also here. They've become fixated on a being that they call the Giver. And kind of most importantly, the dimensionality on Kepler is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the Nine live in. And that means some things from Earth's past have been yanked into Kepler's present.
Yeah, I mean, so we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and
Time.
we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Ride of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
So I believe we have a trailer to show.
Yeah, you were nice enough to bring a trailer along. I'll go ahead and give it a look really quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh god, ghosts. I love this like Warframe like freeze frame they're doing. Oh, they look so good! They look so good! Oh my god. These look so good.
All right, so that's Ride of the Nine, which is our essential prologue story for The Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important about this is that these dungeons are both for veteran dungeon crawlers, hardcore raiders, people have been in these places a lot, but also new guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before.
Good.
Right? What was really important for us when we were developing Ride of the Nine was that we are changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're going to be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very
Match
first time.
made.
But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our
of
veteran,
course.
our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also
I still have yet to solo Flawless Vespers Host.
part of Right.
F me.
What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for The Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game. And you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy and why she quits at the top of The Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking a bunch about how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think it's time for us to start talking about how the core hobby of Destiny is
Yes,
changing,
please.
day-to-day of playing Destiny, week over week.
The portal,
experience. We've
all
got,
that
someone
stuff.
else on the couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that very subject.
The huge
who's gonna
thing we've
join
been
us on
waiting
the
for.
couch. We are now joined by the one and only Mr. Ben Womack, creative director here on
Yes.
Destiny. Ben, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
There is a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good
30 minutes.
conversation we have coming up.
Yes.
But before we get into that, can you tell us just a little bit about what you do here?
Yeah. So I'm the Destiny 2 creative director for the core game, or the core hobby, as we call it.
Yeah.
And it has to do
It's a
with
hobby now.
parts of the game. Everything through our seasons, through the fundamental systems. And in particular, like Robbie was saying, I've been focusing on thinking about the kind of building blocks of Destiny 2 and getting those like not only stood up but also transformed and iterated on in some really exciting new places.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and just start at the top. Can you tell us a little bit about what like the core formula of Destiny is changing and why?
Yes. So I think we need to start with the why first, because it's important to think about what is Destiny, what is great about Destiny. And Destiny is best when you have like awesome chases that you're excited about. You have really cool, powerful builds to make.
Yes.
And there's a mountain to climb that's right in front of you that you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain. It looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right now in Destiny is like it doesn't feel as streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. You know, we want to be player driven. We want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to
My sore point
best way. And those barriers are insurmountable.
with teaching new people.
So think about that whole picture of, okay, what is the Destiny that we really want, that has been in the past,
accessible,
and where we want to go to the future? That's where all the changes you're going to see have started, like at their inception point. So it's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game, and this is like that. We're just getting in, digging into the surface.
Of the whisper in the
I
background.
mean, to that same end, then, how are we making it easier? Pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun.
Oh no, let's do it, because that's exactly what we want to do. And the first thing you're going to see when you log into Destiny with Edge of Fate, you're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say Open Director. It's going to say Open Portal. And the portal is our new front page of the game.
Yes.
We're trying to like get you to the fun as fast as possible and as few clicks as we can.
Oh.
We even have Edge of Fate there in the corner so that it's like right.
It
immediately
looks
there.
good.
Around with the map to get to it, really. And we're also taking other big parts of the game, the ritual game and for seasons, and putting them into these ops categories. So the idea is that we're having these different ops for different moods. We're having solo ops. We have a bunch of fire team ops. We have pinnacle ops, and of course we have crucible ops.
Of course.
Super important for the game.
Yeah. I mean, to start up at the top, can you tell us a little bit more about what solo ops
Oh, yeah. So solo ops is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players. And the conception point of that was we want to make activities for players who have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in there for 10 to 15 minutes.
All right.
Some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah.
Get some loot and get your character forward and feel like, I played some Destiny. That was great. And even if you don't feel like playing with other people, that's fine, because we have an activity type that is designed for one player.
Excellent. So, I mean, to that same end, what are some other ways that we can play and have fun using Portal as well?
Yeah, so Robbie actually has a great way of talking about this.
Yeah, some of the North Star that is what we talk about when we were developing the Portal early on was like, where are we headed with this thing? And ultimately, it's play your way. It's giving players more agency, more personal drive to figure out how they want to engage with the power climb and the new progression systems coming and our seasons. And so the entirety new progression and power climb is now all available to you in the portal at your fingertips in one place. It's really easy to find, really easy to jump in. Anything you play inside of that category any of those categories is gonna help you make progress. And so, because we want Destiny to be welcoming not only to new players, but also old players who are coming back to the game to join us with the Edge of Fate. And we also want this to be like a new even playing field for everyone. And so, as part of this is a commitment from us as part of the core hobby and all the seasonal content we're building, that we're going to be continually investing in this, right? We're going to be continually updating this over time for years to come.
Please do.
And so, you're asking me directly, like, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Ben mentioned solo ops. We also have the fire team ops and pinnacle ops. Both of these are more around playing with other fire team members, shoulder to shoulder, where fire team ops are more quicker sessions. There are some longer form things in it too, but then pinnacle ops are more about those really long form or more challenging kind of focused activities like exotic missions, for instance. And so, and then the one thing we haven't talked about yet very deeply, but is incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time like ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form.
Yeah. You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this means like, if you want to be sweaty, Andy, which like I know you, Dylan, too. I know you're that way, right? Like,
Wait, what?
Both of y'all. Like, if you want to put those sweatbands on, you're going to be able to play the entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest tier loot that's also available in the game.
Arms
I
week.
have to say, this is like super exciting because like my player type or other folks out in the community, like they want to go in, they want to jam on PvP, but then their friends invite them to do a dungeon or a higher tier activity, and they're like, oh wait, I need to grind a long time to get up to power. Now through PvP, they can get up to power, and you can just bring them into that PvE experience. And
Huh?
with each other.
Yeah.
You have to play PvP
Really
to...
played the-
What?
So it sounds like the core
Huh?
you guys are talking about, play the way you want to play. It's at the center of all of it. What if I really
I'm
want
gonna have to
challenge
rewatch
myself,
this.
push myself
Oh, yeah.
a little bit?
Because I think I misinterpreted this.
Yeah, so
That's important to us.
Well, death, but also success.
Yes,
and
that's
creation
true.
from
Yeah,
it,
that's
right?
true, yeah.
Yeah, and so we really want to give agency. That's one of the things. Player agency, player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity customization system. We have a lot more difficulty levels, and we have a ton of new modifiers. We have 50 new modifiers. All the old modifiers that we've
5 of Swords, it's back.
They're going to make this big curated web of options for you to experience any of the PvE content in the curator. And so we have Banes, not just old Banes that we have, but new Banes as well. We also have boons to help you like get advantages in your activities and for your build. We have challenges and trade-offs.
5 of Swords, it's
The
back.
fun part is you're going to get these different combinations that are available, and you're going to then make a mix that's actually going to change the way you play and be pretty interesting, and sometimes be the way you prefer you play. Like there's a new boon called Grappler that I personally love. It's kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want, you could now Spider-Man around anywhere. It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, and I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at like how you can earn a higher tier of reward by taking on higher challenge. And as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb just ahead.
It's a higher difficulty than Grandmaster,
So,
by the way.
This is really about how far you want to push yourself upwards.
This sounds like a
within the
power
itself.
reset
But
for
also,
everybody.
We also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have as much time to play with like solo ops, and also if you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these activities,
or you just don't feel
or
like
you just don't
it
feel like
today.
doing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options, right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play options, and we actually have matchmaking and fire team ops.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And we have fire team finder, and so you're able
course.
to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we
you know?
technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo ops, because that's solo.
Right,
But
yeah.
yes,
Yes,
otherwise,
but in the fire
aside
teams
from
or
that
pinnacle
one.
ops, it's everything.
Yeah, you'll have options to play by yourself or with other people. Oh, actually, a really fun part is you can play a strike by yourself as hard as you want it to
That's
now.
true, yeah.
Thank
Fun.
God.
Well, you're talking
Solo
about all
strikes.
the
Thank
different
you.
boons and combinations. I think at one point you were saying around 50 or something like that. Those
50 new
apply.
ones.
50 new ones. So it's like you can take those into solo ops. Like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized activity.
Excuse
but
me?
If you want to take it and say, I don't want Weenie Hut Jr. I want like esoteric level solo, hardest thing in the world. Like you can kind of customize and do that.
You can just do it from the very start if you really want to.
Yeah.
And the,
Depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah.
Really.
yeah, and the point is that you're going to like stretch that far, and we want the reward to feel like worthwhile.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, you want to feel like as you're pushing yourself, you are rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the vision here for the portal. Yeah.
Rewards, huh?
rewards. There are a lot of rewards, aren't there?
It's funny you mention it. Yeah, we've got Banes, boons, modifiers, but let's talk about gear for a little bit here.
Yeah.
What's changing about loot and why should Guardians?
Yeah,
Yes.
so like talking about chases and mountains and builds, like gear's at the center of all of that. And we actually have 2 giant gear changes. I'm gonna like put in 2 little buckets for us to
Armor
talk
and
about. The first one
weapons.
is armor 3.0.
Yes.
And the next one is gear tiers. And so like talking about armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadowkeep
It's
around
huge.
the system. It's
Yeah,
enormous.
It's a huge change.
Yeah, so like we're adding set bonuses, which is a long requested feature for all the new armor that you're going to be able
Thank
to get,
goodness.
at Edge of Fate launch. And we're
Even more
bringing all
RPG.
the stats on armor where they can now like exceed 100.
Go beyond 100.
Go beyond 100 for extra bonuses.
Yes.
We're going to, every single piece of new legendary armor that drops is going to have all the energy filled in, so you can build crafting right away. And it's going to essentially like, there's more features actually that I could talk about, but I don't think I'm.
Aeon mentioned.
Well, something that we can't talk about too. You mentioned gear tiers as well.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
the
so
amount of
gear tiers are
UIs to
every
be
single legendary
getting
weapon
used to
and
again.
Armor that you can get is going to have 5 gear tiers, starting from 1 going up to 5. And like we have a 5 gear tier 5 piece of legs armor on the screen right now, and you can see that like, this is like looks really cool with iconography, but it also has a ton more stats. And oh look, what's that?
Yeah, what's going on with the energy there?
Yeah, their energy.
Ben?
Yeah,
What is that extra
says
energy?
11,
Ah,
and it's true.
11. Yep.
It's not a typo. Like we
Huh?
energy is going to 11 for the higher tier armor. And so if you want that for your build crafting opportunities, it does like give you some new options you never had before. You're gonna have to challenge yourself to get more higher tier armor and keep on going.
Thank God, more grind. I want to grind
This
more.
is also not something that's just relegated to armor, right? When it comes to weapons, they're obviously getting their own refresh as well.
Yes,
I mean, what's Destiny without chasing some?
Of course.
Yeah, like weapons
seriously.
are part of the player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You got fashion, and then you have gunplay.
That's
right?
true. Though we do have
Exactly.
fashion for your guns a bit.
Wait, but what about crafting?
Well, so because once you reach tier 5 for your legendary drops, you're going to be getting tier 5 weapons, and those have unique shader treatment. They, it's like essentially a completely different look.
Oh!
We identify it to you and others that this is the highest tier.
What?
It's going to show on the weapon. It's going to show on
What?
the icon. It's even going to show when you kill enemies with that weapon, because there's unique kill effects for tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off if you don't want it, but your gameplay will like show that, no, yeah, the weapon that is being used
Enhanced everything.
Yeah, Giver's Blessing, which I think we have on screen right now. This is one of the Kepler auto rifles, and I cannot put this thing down.
Everything is
through the Edge of
enhanced.
Fate right now, and it's what's really exciting about it for me is that like when you see that tier 5 drop, like you know immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon that you have, right? And I think that's when we talk about making Destiny easier to just jump in, find the fun, make it accessible, but also create more depth. You know, this is what we're thinking about. It's like how can we just make it immediately like you understand like, okay, this is probably better than the thing
I see the
right now,
vision.
depending on what gear tier it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good example of how much time and effort is being put into these game systems to make them more like approachable. Change can be scary. There's a lot of change that's about to come to the game. We're Armor 3.0, we have so many new boons, we have a bunch of new stuff. And after 10 years of Destiny, this is going to flip some stuff on its head. So, I mean, we're going to have a bunch of blog content. We're going to have interviews with Robbie, with Ben, with more folks across the team that have been working on this. And then we'll also be elevating our creator community when they're creating guides, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. But ultimately, a big shout out and thank you to all the folks that have been coming into our studio, giving feedback early on some of these systems so they can be more approachable.
That's the
And
cross.
we're looking forward to all the feedback that's going to be coming after launch too. Like this is again one of our first steps into something, and then the community and we are going to build something amazing.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how much feedback we've gotten from the community summits we've been running over the last year for the Edge of Fate, and just people reaching out to the community teams and others to us. Like your feedback is invaluable. So like seriously, like thank you so much. We're making this game together ultimately.
Yeah, it's incredibly important part of the process. Like I don't think we would be able to make what we do without it.
Yeah. Working with the community is obviously a core part. Dylan, huge thanks to you and your team, obviously, for helping to lead that charge. And in advance for the big blogs you get to write. And then also,
Of course.
we'll go ahead and get out the door, so go ahead and give us a follow.
I think Ben,
But
you were saying you wanted to try to break the record for longest twid.
I'm more
Oh
predictive.
no.
Yeah. So
Well, it's not about try, it's the state of things.
it's going to be a
10K
multi-month journey
words.
as we head towards launch. So
yeah, be a good time. But you know, we've been talking a lot about the core Destiny hobby. How does that extend into like how players are going to experience like a full year of Destiny?
Yeah, so we've been focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in multiple ways. And so progressing through the Fate Saga is going to be more meaningful with 2 expansions a year. We've been talking about how focusing our seasons on the core hobby of Destiny and that commitment to continually updating it. And in addition, we're going to have 2 free major
December
updates
2.
between each of our major expansions coming in the year of Prophecy and beyond. And so ultimately that means there's 4 big beats happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content.
Thank
We're not
you.
doing separate seasonal
Thank you.
storylines. And this also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that basically just goes away and is less meaningful to the game after 3 months. So we're instead focusing all of that effort that used to go there instead into building up the core hobby of the game so the core hobby stays fresh and exciting, year round. And so ultimately, this means no more paywalls for seasonal content.
Thank
and also
God.
these major updates themselves that I'm signposting around right now. The size of them roughly and the inspiration for them we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Thank fucking
So when
God.
you say like into the light, for folks that aren't out there, like what for a major update, how big is that? Like how do you encapsulate
Yeah,
that?
so when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon.
Yep.
So for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, Yeah, we're going to be returning
Ash
to
and
the
Iron.
Plague Lands.
Returning to the Plaguelands, can't wait.
Nice. Huge.
So, that story is going to pick up from where we left off, from the Edge of Fate, and with it, we're going to have a new activity called Reclaim, a brand new exotic mission. New
Second
types
major
of
update. They're going
ops
back to the
entering that
Plague
first
Lands.
time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear, new rewards, and 2 new exotic weapons as part of Ash and Iron as well. And again, this major update and the season, all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the
Yes.
activity content that exists in the portal that's free to play.
Very nice.
Yes.
So you can actually go one quick layer to
Thank
the
you.
seasons as well. What are some of the cool things that we're going to be able to do with the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate?
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space for the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to make any time the best time to hop into Destiny.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the ways we want to do that is we want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
It's a special little treat.
Yeah, special little treat. So this Friday, you can play a little event, maybe you've heard of it, called Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal,
It's
yep.
Tanks versus Briggs, a new PvP.
Yeah.
Super fun. I would kind of wish I was playing it right now, not gonna lie.
This Friday.
But the thing that people at home don't know is we have a new reward. That's a unique thing in Destiny if you invest in this event, if you go and play it. And it is a free-to-play event. So this reward is free to play. It is a new combat vehicle that goes in your Sparrow sled, combat Sparrow, if you will, called the Griffin.
Huh?
This is a really cool, like, combat-ready vehicle you can take anywhere you can summon a Sparrow. You can summon it and use it to fight your enemies and just have a really good time. And there's some really cool,
Damn.
there's some really cool build crafting things with this vehicle that I don't want to spoil right now. Let people discover, but I'm super excited.
This Friday, huh?
I thought they were going to ride those skimmers
Saturday.
forever.
Well, I mean, we've been saying like, what was it? Skimmer is Flash, and the Griffin is Splash.
Hey.
Joke quota has been met.
We got to get one in.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's right, Ben? Like, you've got more for us, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. So like I just said, there's more events that
Yeah.
we've been making. There's one that's going to happen right after the launch of Edge of Fate. It's called Arms Week, and it's a 1 week long event, and you're going to be
Arms Week.
focusing on one weapon archetype in Arms Week whenever it comes around. And this one is going to give you a new legendary weapon of that type. It's going to have some volatile mods that are for the week that are going to be super interesting and fun to play with, and some focusing you can do. But there is a problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you got to have a place to test all that out.
Right, and
Yeah,
so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about the rest of you,
Those poor dregs.
right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range. And the shooting range is being added to the tower.
Yes!
It is now a permanent addition to the game.
Shooting range! Finally!
And you can go there and you can try out everything in your
Like
kit,
a
everything
permanent
on your
thing.
build, with all sorts of simulations of different kinds of enemies.
Oh,
and
yes.
situations, and it's all real.
Tribute
time
Hall,
markers.
welcome back.
It's like
It's even got a scoreboard.
it's even got a
For
scoreboard
you
right there.
and your fire team.
Yeah, your whole raid team can go down into the shooting
And it
range.
even
and
has
try
a-
out.
it has a
Exactly what you
scoreboard.
do for some kind of boss at this range or with
gonna
those
say,
range.
And it gives you total
Yeah,
damage,
well, you're
dude.
probably gonna know. That
So we have a rally flag. It's not just a shooting range. Like, you can go beyond the firing line and use your abilities too.
Yeah, you totally can. And like if you wanted to, you could even take in Prismatic and pop Transcendence and try that out. And well, I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's a Titan.
Yeah, it's a good soldier.
Yeah.
Standing on that firing line.
Yeah, staying on the firing line.
All about building that line and standing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
A lot of theory crafters are going to have to go ahead and have some upheavals to their Google Docs, I'm guessing. By
This will be a really good tool. Like, as we're adding all of these different systems with gear tiering and all of that, you can go in and check those damage numbers in real time. Like, how do my stats change? How are these
Thank
different gear bonuses
God.
affect my gameplay? You can see it in the tower now.
Yeah.
Now I can actually
talking about
test these things myself.
Yeah,
got
well,
one more thing, right?
Yeah, I know. There's one more thing. I know
Yeah.
you're excited. So, there's more events. Of course, there's more events, and the holiday events are coming up. Where Solstice is right around the corner.
It's
as well.
summertime,
Of
right?
course.
Summertime is Solstice time in Destiny 2. And
Can we have
Solstice
a
has some
refresh?
really cool twists and such that we're planning, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to show you all the new hollow foil treatment we have for Solstice weapons.
Hmm?
So here we go. This is the hollow foil
Whoa!
for Solstice.
Oh my God!
It is.
so
It's
good.
amazing.
It's
everything I look at.
beautiful.
It is an ocean.
On a
And
gun.
the line, yeah, we put the ocean on a gun. How did we do that? It's beautiful. I love it. And any kind of weapon that drops for this event can have a hollow foil.
Yeah,
no
so it
matter
could be
what
a
the
tier 1 or tier 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, any
exactly.
weapon can have the hollow foil.
Yeah,
when we're playing through
the tier 5 hollow foil.
Ooh.
Like that's gonna be a chase. our other events will also have holofoils.
Yeah, like Arms Week you're talking
Arms Week
about.
will have its own holofoil treatment. Like every event, a major event we have will have a holofoil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms Week will have their holofoil drops that you can farm as well.
Super exciting. No, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have way too much stuff to chase down, so appreciate you guys putting all the hard work in, obviously, for that. But I believe we've got one more thing.
Yeah,
Of
I mean,
course.
we've been talking a lot about here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk about
Right,
it.
yeah, Allison.
She's the best one to talk
Yeah,
about.
we've got something very exciting, and so once again, Allison, thank you for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Yeah, it's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could
Yeah,
obviously go ahead and lead us
it's
into this
become
one.
tradition
But,
at this point.
You know, as Dylan mentioned, we've talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions over the course of a year. Can you tell us a
Renegades.
little bit about Renegades.
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ash and Iron. But earlier we were talking about how sometimes our formulas can constrain us from experimenting and innovating. And so in that spirit, Renegades is going to be very different from the Edge of Fate. What I can tell you, and we'll talk plenty about it later, is that we're going to be experimenting and innovating with activities, with social mechanics, and more.
Ooh.
But more importantly, I want to talk about our inspiration. And so I have to kind of tee it up first. So Renegades is going to be a Destiny, like definitively Destiny expansion. This is part of the Fate Saga, and it's going to push it forward in important ways and introduce characters that we're going to spend time with for years to come. It is an essential Fate Saga story. And it's an homage to a universe that has inspired Bungie from the start. It's a universe that all of us here on the couch grew up with, as well as everyone else at the studio and millions of you back at home, too.
Star Wars?
It is a peanut butter and combination, a peanut butter and like chocolate combination inside of what we're making that could only be possible in the kind of world that we build here. And so I am absolutely thrilled to be able to give our first sneak peek at Destiny 2 Renegades.
Let's take a look.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. Oh my god. They're doing it. Star Wars the expansion.
Okay.
Okay.
Robbie, what did we just see?
Yeah, so that's Renegades, which is coming out this December. And to really drive it home here, Renegades is a one-of-a-kind Destiny experience, right? And just like we on the Destiny team have taken inspiration
They're
from other
cooking.
genres like dark fantasy or cosmic horror.
They're cooking so
Renegades
hard.
takes the space western vibe and aesthetic that is Star Wars, and it puts it through that Destiny lens. And ultimately, it's created a new lawless frontier that is emerging within Seoul. And so, like, we're so excited to show Renegades off a little bit today and to be talking about it more in the future in September alongside the free major update with Ash and Iron. But right now, today, we're focused on Rite of the Nine and what's right around the corner with the Edge of Fate.
Absolutely. No, I heard a lot of calendars get marked just now on September, but no, super excited to share more of that in the future. But that actually leads us to the conclusion of today's show, which again, we covered a lot.
There's been a lot today.
Yeah, this has been a big show.
My god.
We went through a lot of it. So let's go ahead and quickly double check. We obviously went through, and the Year of Prophecy, pardon me, is going to go ahead and kick off on July 15th. And this kicks off a brand new multi-year Fate Saga and our new focus on the core hobby of Destiny. The first expansion, The Edge of Fate, is going to be launching again on July 15th, as I noted, with its raid launching on July 19th.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah.
So you're going through a lot of information. We already covered that.
Oh, yeah.
But like, you can't just sneak in a raid date. We have a new raid coming.
Please.
With the expansion.
Yes.
July 19th.
GCX?
We're gonna have a bunch of blogs. We're going to have the rules, regulations, all that kind of stuff for our raid race.
Of course.
We invite everybody to come in, try to go for that world first
Wait,
time.
what about GCX?
And yeah, I mean, just stay tuned for more details. We're not going to spoil anything. It's a raid. We got to keep it secret.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Everybody mark your calendars.
Yeah.
July
bungie.net/Twitter to learn more.
19th.
And again, follow our social media channels. Do us all a favor. So in addition to that, again, as we noted, Ash and Iron, our first free major update, will be launching on September 9th. Renegades, very exciting, will be launching in December. And then keep an eye again on our social channels. We'll provide all the updates once they're available. But as far as today goes, the Edge of Fate and the entire Year of Prophecy pre-orders are available starting right now. Now, pre-ordering for starters, the Ultimate Edition will go ahead and unlock the New Land Beyond.
New Land Beyond.
And beyond that exotic
Yeah.
sniper. Ooh, I can't wait, man.
I can't wait, same, honestly. That'll be unlockable in addition to several other goodies. And also, we've also got a collector's edition that'll be available. You can see here on screen, it will be coming with an awful lot of very cool stuff, including this cool statue that you may have noticed here that's been sitting with us on stage. This is one that you can go ahead and add to your collection as well. But
Nice.
That's not all that's in there. Is there, Allison?
We got the writing team got a little excited on this one. We put a lot of lore goodies into this collector's edition. So like that weird metal thing, that weird envelope, boy, weird. Wonder what's up with that.
Just decorative
You should
points?
probably read it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do a dramatic reading as soon as
Yeah, we
we
should go downstairs immediately after.
It's
this.
really
Oh, yeah, right after this.
Count me in. And then again, too, as far as today goes, Rite of the Nine. This is the
Of
essential
course.
prologue to the Edge of Fate, and like all of our events moving forward, it's going to be a free to all players. So make sure and go ahead and check that out when that arrives. And before the show wraps up, make sure and stick around for a little bit longer. We're going to be rating our good friend Sammy Cat as well. So go ahead and give her a follow. Tell her we said hello in chat. Pardon me. If you have any Twitch Prime subs or anything like that, do us a favor.
Huge.
Drop it over there and check out her stream. She's going to be having a good time. But that concludes it for us here today. So for starters, huge thanks to my teammates here for joining me.
They cooked.
Absolutely, yeah. Robbie,
Okay.
Allison, Dylan, of course.
They cooked.
There we go. We got Ben and, of course, Mr. Dave Samuel. Thank you all so much for being here today. And then, of course, to the crew that puts all this on.
Thank you,
This
everyone.
doesn't happen by accident. Thank you all so much for all of your hard work and dealing with me on these last couple of days. And of course, to everyone at home, to all of our guardians out there in the community, thank you. It's a tremendous privilege to get the opportunity to share what we've been working on early.
Man.
And it matters only if you guys show up and join us. So we really
God.
appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed. And
Okay.
otherwise, in the meantime, until we see you again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Starside.
Bye-bye. Okay. Man, they cooked for a lot of stuff. For starters, Kepler looks like it's going to be Witch Queen style again, another Witch Queen style expansion with a lot of secrets, probably closer to Witch Queen, Throne World, Dreaming City type stuff. Gonna be really cool. But I think the fundamental, like, big thing really is the core hobby change. Like, Five of Swords coming back. I think it's called Five of Swords. I don't remember anymore. It's been like 4 or 5 years now. Yeah, the Five of Swords coming back as not an item, but a thing in the menu they interact with to give yourself more challenge. I don't know if they mentioned, I forget if they mentioned solo ops and what that entails, but they do have the articles from way back when, last year, that do talk about it. Something about a dynamic enemy spawning system, something like that. They need to like refresh that. But anyway, the armor tiering is going to be interesting. That gives everyone, including the veterans, some big chase to grind for. I noticed as well there was like another difficulty past GM called Ultimate. And it seems like we're resetting the power climb back to 0, because, or unless that was just a death build. But yeah, it's a difficulty past GM. It seems like you can only do it when you have all of the difficulty, all of the things, like when you make it the hardest thing possible. That's probably gonna give you maybe GM and higher is gonna give you tier 5 stuff. But yeah, tier 5, you have an incentive to get tier 5 stuff with the holofoil treatment. The solstice weapon looked beautiful, by the way. that looked really good. Like, look at this. Come on. This is, oh my god. And you have an incentive to just get the highest tier of weapon you can. Also heal clip and whatever this new perk is. Huckleberry looking frame there. But yeah. Weapons are gonna get an overhaul with the weapon tiering. Armor is gonna get some refreshing with the armor tiering as well, with +1 11 energy instead of 10. Some stats being reworked and changed. I also noticed earlier in the stream that there was a special bar and a heavy bar below the weapons as well, so that's also great. Thank goodness, because I'm also complaining internally, like oh my god, when like when do I get a new special brick or a heavy brick when we're about to do it, like a damage race or something? Like seriously, it's so like unpredictable. But anyway, they cooked, man. Especially like the shooting range as well. Like, dude, I'm excited. I'll say it. And that's not me like glazing Bungie or whatever. I fucking hate that like phrase. There are some things though that I am concerned about with like, they're not really concerns, more like just general questions of like, one, incentive. What is the incentive of doing solo ops? Yeah. Like, can you, I'm pretty sure they brought it up on stream, but I'll probably add an addendum to it, whatever. Like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Yeah, like what, like how are we going to balance solo play versus fireteam ops? Yeah. And also raids? Like how are we going to, how is the tiering gonna work with raids specifically? And how is the Hall of Hall treatment gonna, you know, how is that gonna change? Like what tier do we get? For, oh yeah, they mentioned raid feats as well last year. So that is gonna be very interesting. Also rewards pass, they didn't really mention it. I appreciate that they're making the reward content free to play, but also what does the reward pass give you now? Because everything else is free, you know? Probably like the standard stuff, but I'm sure they'll, you know, say something about that later in the year. Later to launch actually. But yeah, overall looks good. I'm excited. No subclass though. Like I expected that at this point. Like for real. It only took it took them like 2 years to make Strand. So, you know, I wasn't expecting like a new subclass or anything, but whatever. You haven't like, I think Dark Matter is gonna be like that replacement, kind of like Deep Sight is. But yeah, it looks good. I do have some questions, but overall, I think it looks good. We will have to see what they say about the portal and all that stuff, and rewards and armor and stuff, and the core game down the line. But yeah, I think that is my reaction to the reveal event. See ya. Bye bye.